What's going on, everybody? So I just got done doing my Midwestern cardio. If you know what that means, you'll probably understand the pain. So a few days ago it was about 70 degrees, and then keep in mind it's mid-April, and this is what we have today. Really fun. Really fun. Put all the winter gear away and have to go into the closet and get it all out because you need a shovel. But I guess that's just the price to pay when you live in Minnesota. Anyway, so some of the things that I want to cover in this week's vlog. Tomorrow, hopefully, I get some training footage of a pull day, and I'll probably just do a voiceover over that. I'll probably do physique updates every 2 weeks. I'm guessing the Minicut will be done, because honestly, it's in and out in a few weeks. Probably 3 or 2 more. Probably 3. But we'll see. What else? I'm going to do my first segment on minicuts tomorrow, where I'm going to be covering kind of like another whiteboard video. This is actually where I sat last time, but of like the nutritional aspects of minicutting. And then next week or the following week, I will do training components. Then we'll kind of just keep 10-15 minute videos and just follow along with my life, and I'll try to add some informative content for you guys to maybe learn a little bit from. But other than that, this is Wednesday right now, so I haven't done much filming because I've just been busy with school and stuff like that. But I will catch you guys probably tomorrow for the whiteboard video and the training footage. Cooking up some breakfast right now. Thought I'd share with you guys. As you guys just saw, I hit another low end by like at least a pound or something today. But probably the best hunger hack that you can employ whenever you get hungry on a diet, on any diet that is, and that's simply just to bear the hunger. It just comes along with the diet. Then you just eat the food that is required for you to hit your deficit. And that's it. You just need to bear the hunger, and then you'll lose the weight. It's pretty easy. I mean, easier said than done, but if you stay objective and use your psychological tools and foundations to your advantage, you have a goal, and the goal comes with acting in accordance in a specific manner. Then you just have to execute. That's really all it is. This is the first time I've ever felt kind of hungry, but hunger honestly does surpass after a little bit. So just keep that in mind whenever you're gonna diet and you get hungry. Your biggest tool is probably just to bear the hunger. That's what I think. Hey everybody, so just hitting this voiceover of my lower A day. This is like my 3rd time recording this because my computer keeps on disconnecting my mic. But anyways, I'm just going to go over kind of some of these cues and stuff I've been hitting on these lifts. So first we got high bar squats, my primary quad movement for this mini cut. Most of my quad volume is actually put on high bars just because I don't have too much volume to work with, because I'm in like a resensitization phase to volume as well, so I want to make the volume count. So the cues on this movement are letting my hips go back when I enter the hole, and letting my knees go over my toes when I'm also going down. That'll allow me to get some solid depth, as well as target my quads more. As you saw, I hit 275 for my down, or this is 275 right now for my down sets of 8 to 10. I believe I did 2 of them, 2 down sets that is. And then my top sets were at 295 for, again, sets of 8 to 10. With 2 in the tank. But again, cues are just obviously control the entire movement. Don't use the hip reflex to bounce. I know a lot of people do use that reflex, and it really does take away some of the hypertrophic stimulus, and also increases the risk of injury. So that's something to keep in mind when you're squatting. And I believe the next movement, like I said, because I'm kind of focusing, or I'm getting resensitized to volume. Majority of my volume is situated on compound lifts. I believe were stiff leg deadlifts. And the cues I use for these are obviously to get my hips back in the movement. If you looked at my butt, it will just like go backwards as opposed to like the fully extended position. And controlling the eccentric on the way down, I think I can do a little bit better of a job next time on doing that. But these really have been crushing my hamstrings and making them grow a ton. And I also like to keep my focus, like my vision, on one spot of the floor in front of me because that will prevent hyperextension of your neck. So that's obviously good for injury prevention, but again, it's just controlling the eccentric, letting your hips go back. It's a hip hinge movement, and that'll get that nice squeeze and ripping sensation in your hamstring. You know what I'm talking about if you've ever done these. So, and again, this is majority of my hamstring volumes situated around deadlifts at the moment because I don't have too much volume to work with. And I believe I only have a few sets of accessories just for a little novelty stimulus, and they hit different areas of the muscle. Here are my calf raises. Basically, I am hitting calves about 4 times a week right now, two times a week on my push days with some Smith machine calves, and 2 times on lower days with these machine calves. And the only cue here is to control the entire movement and pause on the up when you're up and when you're down. So controlling the entire movement is big here. And like I said, this next clip is me doing my leg extensions, 1 set to failure. It's basically just a my rep set to get a different stimulus. But I like leg extensions too. I really feel them. And then I also did a set of hamstring curls to failure, but I did not film it, I believe, because somebody was on it forever. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the voiceover. This is probably what they're going to be, just kind of talking over the cues that I use and my progressions. So hope you enjoyed it, and enjoy the rest of the video.
So, as I was discussing last week on food volume, this would be an example of why I'm going to use some. This is just a Chipotle bowl with some shredded lettuce in it, and I just make a big bowl. It has been about 12 hours since I've been awake because I woke up at 4:30 because I just worked 6 to 2. And then I trained after, and then went shopping, and we just got home, and it's about 5 o'clock right now. And the only thing I've eaten today is a protein waffle in the morning and 2 protein shakes. So this is why you want to utilize volume, and utilize it sparingly. Guys, coming at you with another informative part of the video again, because, you know, I think it's always important if you're just watching and stuff to get a little bit out of the content that you're watching, so it's just not just, you know, mind dumbing, and it actually has value to it. So today I was gonna kind of just talk about, I have a little whiteboard made up here about like the Minicut guidelines, but it doesn't really show with the lighting in my house right now. I'm trying to get it as a clear whiteboard. I think I have one back there, but it's just not, I don't know, I just use this one for some reason. But I'll just kind of walk through it. So this is going to be kind of focused on the nutritional aspects of it, and just like define the guidelines of a mini cut and what it is meant to be. And then next week or in a later vlog, I will cover more of like the training recommendations. Probably the next video will be that, more specifically training at a deficit. So for the mini cut guidelines, obviously the goal for a mini cut is to be dropping body fat fast. Generally you sandwich it in between like a gaining phase. So if you're massing but you're getting a little bit too fat, or not too fat, but you want to kind of lose a little bit more body fat so you can prolong another mass. So mass, mini cut, mass. So it's like a little sandwich in between there. You want to lose body fat fast, obviously. I typically, for the rate of loss, aim for 1 to 2% rate of loss per week, per body weight, obviously. 1 to 2% of your body weight individually. because that really does matter. Because if you're a 120-pound individual, obviously a female in this case usually, and you're trying to lose 1 pound, that's a significant portion of your body weight. Whereas if you're somebody that, like an obese individual who's 300 pounds, 1 pound would be very small. So that's why you should ration your weights of gain and loss based upon your own body weight percentage, in my opinion. So the duration of a mini cut typically, I believe, should be between 4 and 6 weeks, simply because going over the 6 weeks is, I would technically start calling it more of a like a proper diet or just a normal cut, because you probably should be assertively losing this much body fat over this period of time, because you should be in a deficit almost the entire time. Obviously, if you have if you're not like prepping and stuff, which I wouldn't recommend you be prepping and using mini cuts unless it's the diet before diet. If you have to go out to eat or whatever a few times, that's fine, but you basically just want to be in and out, just like a bank robbery, in and out, get the fat loss, get back to gaining. So over 6 weeks is that point, because it's just starting to turn into a diet, a regular diet. And less than 3 weeks, it's kind of just like, the first week you can lose some fat, but a lot of it's water weight and kind of losing all that scale fluctuation via massing. But I don't know, 3 weeks, it just seems like not enough for me to really make a difference. Not that 4 would make too much of a difference, but I think you'd just be better with your time going a little bit longer. Like I said, the rate of loss, 1 to 2% of your body weight a week, scaled off of you individually. And then I will cover some more nutritional aspects, just get general guidelines, and some recovery aspects. So nutrition, obviously you're going to have to cater your calories to that 1 to 2% of body weight a week. So whether that's, if your maintenance is 3,000, whether that's, or if you want to be between the 1 and 2%, if you want to eat 2,000 calories, so you're using 2 pounds a week, that's totally cool. But I would recommend that you have your fat at a minimum of 0.3 grams per pound. So for me, unless you've dieted before, and you can go slightly under that, but for me right now, my mini cut, I'll use me as an example. I weigh roughly, when I started, 183-ish, and my current low on the mini cut is 173, so I'm down 10 pounds in almost 2 weeks. And my fat's at 45 grams, so I think I'm usually around 55 grams for 0.3 grams per pound, and I'm slightly under that, but that's okay. But if I had it around 55, that'd be totally cool too, unless, of course, like I said, I have experience dieting low fat, so it's not a big deal for me to go slightly under that. I mean, it's very slightly under that, but generally, I wouldn't recommend going under 0.3 grams for too long of a time. Like I said, I'm only mini cutting for 4 to 6 weeks as well. Protein, it's a safe bet to put it at 1 gram per pound of body weight you have. That way you're going to keep as much muscle as you can, because the 2 biggest factors that are going to help you keep your muscle, I mean, it's not going to fly off your body, contrary to popular belief if you diet aggressively, but training stimulus and protein is what going to keep your muscle on your body, and recovery. So 1 gram per pound for protein, and then carbs, the rest made up, because fat and proteins are covered. So if you had 200 to work with, then you do 200. For me personally, I always go on a little bit of higher on the protein side, because I don't count direct sources. So some of my protein might be coming from vegetables or primarily fat sources. So my protein's at 220 grams today, and then my carbs are at 200 exactly. So my nutrition goes as follows: 220 grams of protein, 200 grams of carbs, and 45 grams of fat, making a total of 2,085 calories. So I generally try to hit that more or less every day. And yes, so this is 2 weeks in for me, so I have 2 to 4 weeks left, probably 2 or 3, because I want to get my body weight down to about, I don't know, around 170 would be cool. Maybe 168, 170. And then starting to mass again, hopefully to get up to like 185, 190, recycle, see what I'm looking like. But right now I'm looking decently lean. If you guys follow me on Instagram, I think I'm looking alright. But recovery, I'm gonna cover cardio in the next like training. I'm gonna associate that with training. But for recovery, obviously getting your 7 to 9 hours of sleep a day, hydrating well. I don't know how people can say they only have 8 cups of water a day. Some of my medication I'm on makes me like really have dry mouth and stuff, but I'm on almost 2 gallons a day. Obviously that's a little excessive, but like I said, my medication makes me drink a little bit more. Um, so staying properly hydrated, a good sign is that you're like when you pee, it's pretty clear. 7 to 9 hours of sleep. I mean, it's just the fundamental basics of recovery, making sure you're nailing those down, making sure you're handling your stress as well. And yes, the next time we will cover training, which will obviously incorporate cardio into that. But I'm not doing any formal cardio anyways, and I rarely ever do. Other than that, guys, enjoy the rest of the video. I know this is kind of a shorter-ish one this week, but I was pretty busy. But that's kind of cool because I don't like watching 25-minute videos anyways. So I hope you guys have a great week yourself, and I will catch you. Maybe I might record a little bit tomorrow, but I'll catch you then, and then I'll be getting this out to you guys.